Today we are going to talk about Walsenburg ghost stories, real or not real. We're going to be talking about the devil in the bar in Walsenburg. This happened I think in the 1950s or somewhere in the 1930s. I'm not too sure, but it was considered very famous. A man walked in one day and he was dressed in all white, and the women basically there it was more like almost like a Hispanic um bar, and a lot of people saw this guy dressed in white. So the man asked the woman to dance, and he danced and danced until something really weird happened. He started to change, and instead of the white tuxedo, it started to turn red. And then they noticed that first a tail appeared, then horns appeared, which was worse. Basically, the term the devil was in the bar. Within that time frame, within that time, the guy who owned the bar shut it down, and it was never presented up. They destroyed it. So nobody knows if this was a real story or not a real story. Some of the stories that are presented are found in books that some writers have wrote about Walsenburg. It depends on which books you find. Oh, the baby of Saint Mary is another one, and this one people have actually tried to check to see if it's true. Many teenagers from Walsenburg have actually tried to climb into the windows of the old school up here. Well, the story starts that the nuns in Saint Mary's School used to take children whose parents who were Italian families couldn't take care of them, and the Italian families would take the babies to be adopted. Well, they believe that this one somehow or some reason was actually found a little too late, and they believe that the nuns had took care of him for a while until he passed away. But nobody really knows, only that people have actually heard a child crying at night, and they believe that this is the child that died that night, got cold and passed away. People think that the St. Mary's School is also known as the haunted school too, for the nuns and the priests that lived there. And also a story about a young girl who got hit by a car, and that she still walks at night going to school. People have actually said that they've seen apparitions of her ghost. Oh, there's the hospital, the Overland County Hospital that was there in the 1980s is no longer there due to it being so old. Many of when the hospital was destroyed, they wanted to ask what they were going to do about the property up on top of the hill. So what they did was they made it into an apartment complex, which now a lot of people have actually said that it's haunted there. Chris Gilbert, what are you doing? Yep, this is my son. This is the one you see on his YouTube page. They believe that there's ghosts from the past because the hospital was a regular hospital with a nursing home. And many have actually seen spirits of an old man, of a young child with a ball, a woman, a nurse, a doctor. Practically many of the spirits are still present at the apartments. They're still there, lingered, because the land when they destroyed the hospital, the land was still there, so basically has an imprint of the past. Walsenburg has an imprint of the past. Many of the imprints are when there was disease, and many of them was the water and smallpox and chickenpox and diphtheria and the flu, you name it. It came and it went. St. Mary's Cemetery. St. Mary's Cemetery on the other side on Highway 10. St. Mary's Cemetery on the other highway going towards Trinidad. There's also the Mason Cemetery, which has the history of the residents of Walsenburg. If you ever come to visit Walsenburg, come visit the old cemeteries and you'll understand the whole town about this place. There was a mining town on the other side of Walsenburg that has a staircase. And this staircase is from an old grocery store that existed there, and it's not there anymore, but the staircase is still there. The staircase goes up and it goes down. It goes up to heaven, it goes to wherever it comes down. It's been there for, I think, since the end of time. Basically, when it first started out. The small town that's not there anymore because a lot of the people took their houses and bricks and stuff like that, and they left. What was left was the foundation. Well, it's still there if you ever want to come visit Walsenburg. We're here in Walsenburg. We have the community center. We have the antique stores up here. We have our Museum of Friends, which are pretty neat people. We have a lot of stores that you can buy things if you want to. We also have our grocery stores, our pharmacies, our restaurants. So if you want to come and visit, also if ghost hunters want to come visit, they can come and visit. Oh, we have an old oak tree that has an old face, which people say it's haunted. Well, it was used as known as the hanging tree, which is still there. It's just nobody has cut it, but they believe that it was considered the hanging tree because they used to hang the cowboys that would do dumb things in this town. There's another story about a husband and wife couple who was killed in the 1930s, and this is a real story. This really did happen. It was in the newspaper. The husband and wife couple had generally asked this young guy the young guy asked him if it was okay that he could help him with the farm, and it was a helper. Basically, see, in the 1930s, people actually helped people, and a lot of them were helpers, so they usually got paid very little, but it helped. And the day that this happened was the day that the neighbors always noticed that the husband and wife couple always went to church, and that day they didn't go to church, so they went up to go see if they were okay, and they found the husband and wife couple dead in bed, basically. And they told them that it might have been the helper that had come to help them. Well, when they went to go arrest him, they arrested him, and they stated that he couldn't have done it, basically. And after they told him that he didn't, they think that he didn't do it, he left with his family. He left town. Well, the funniest thing about this is every year on the anniversary of the husband and wife couple, people will surely say that they see lantern lights coming from the house, that it's them, wanting people to know that they want them to solve their murder. But nobody has actually solved the murder yet. Don't you dare! Pause off, buzzard. They don't know, but this is what happened, and still it's considered a case. Many of the cases are still considered unknown and unsolved. There's been tragedies in the 1930s. There was a flood in 1936. There was a couple in 1930s. This is basically a lot of stuff happened in the 1930s. Children died of diphtheria, smallpox, chickenpox, you name it. Any disease you can think of. A lot of there was people who actually died of the flu epidemic in 1918 when it happened. There's been a lot of things. The history of Walsenburg have actually had tragedies between children to adults, and it's like everybody says that there's a lingering of a black cloud appears once in a while, like if there's anniversaries of people who have passed on. In 1936, they believe that there was probably 30 people that must have drowned it on Fifth Street, because they found 30 bodies of 30 people, mainly children, adult women, men, and elderly people. Well, this is to conclude that this is one of the stories, and I'll bring you some more stories of Walsenburg stories, of ghost stories or whatever. But if you want to come visit Walsenburg, come and visit, because we're here, and a lot of people who own the businesses up here would like to come and have you visit them too. The old town has a lot of things, but we have a lot of history. Um, we also have there's also histories of the Green Mountain Hill, or Green Mountain up there. We have histories in La Vida. History basically Walsenburg too. Um, there's ghost stories. Oh, there was ones that there's some ghost stories if you want to go to Walsenburg Ghost Stories, and they'll probably take you to those. But the apartments are considered haunted because of the hospital. Many of the people at the hospital actually died. So basically their spirits are still lingering up at the apartments. Some people stated they have actually seen their covers move, or things been thrown in skirmish of the rooms. But some people say that it's probably their imagination, or just a big story that comes along. But if that is true, then why is there always ghost hunters always wanting to know if the truth of Walsenburg is haunted? If it is, then we're not alone in this world. I'll tell you more about Walsenburg when I have more stories and more things to tell you. See you later, everybody. And this is Anna Gilbert in Walsenburg, Colorado. Thank you very much. And Merry Christmas, everybody. And a Happy New Year. And don't drink and drive. It doesn't mix with the holidays. Bye, guys.